Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been awesome so far. Overwatch League has been crazy over the past 2 days, specifically the Los Angeles Valiant. 0-7. Absolutely no one in their right mind would have ever predicted this. And oh my goodness, guys, on Twitter, Sideshow and the Houston Outlaws are beefing like crazy. Sideshow literally freaked out on his stream and called out the Houston Outlaws, said they were a garbage team, one of the worst in the league, and the fact that they're happy about beating the LA Valiant is disgusting. I mean, like, straight up, guys, he called them out so hard. So we're going to be starting off with the LA Valiant versus Houston Outlaws set. Then we will cover that drama. Then moving on, we got to talk about a whole bunch of other games. We'll probably breeze through a lot of them. There's just so much to talk about, guys. If you enjoy and love the Overwatch League, be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos about Overwatch League. And now let's jump into it and let's take a look at this LA Valiant versus Houston Outlaws set. Because what an absolute crap storm this was, guys. Houston Outlaws were able to pull out Busan 2-1 the very first map. But God, just like these teams were so back and forth, and it was like a battle of who is worse. It really reminded me a lot of that Washington Justice versus London Spitfire set back in week 2. Neither team looked good on Busan. It was cool seeing Linkser in there on the Widowmaker. Also, we got to see Dante play some Tracer. Jake was on Sombra. They were switching it up, which was really cool. And at the end of the day, they were the better team. And LA Valiant, like, they just cannot close out. They had a chance on the third round of Busan to close it out. They came in. They got an opening pick. Iziaki literally killed Raucus. They were in command 6 versus 5. Oh, and by the way, Linkser was on freaking Wrecking Ball. LA Valiant literally lost a 6v5 against the Houston Outlaws, who had Linkser on Wrecking Ball. What are you doing, bro? What? I don't get it. So they lost on Busan. They look like a joke. Moving on to the next map, we had Nubani. Yeah, it went in LA Valiant's favor, but I don't know. Was it because Houston sucks? Was it because LA Valiant got lucky? I don't know what it was, but these teams are sort of neck and neck because both of them aren't really that good, and specifically the LA Valiant are just crumbling. At first, early on, it was like, okay, they're losing to good teams. You know, New York Excelsior, Game 5, that's really good. Game 5, Hangzhou Spark, they went 2-0 the first week. It's fine. They'll bounce back, but now it's just getting worse and worse. And we're at a point right now where they have played 7 games out of 27 games. They have 20 games left, by the way. So they're in like a very dire situation. If they don't start winning soon, they're going to be the next Shanghai Dragons, which is very possible. That's exactly what happened to Shanghai Dragons last season. We thought, oh, eventually they'll win a game, but they kept losing. And then eventually it was just like, oh, it's impossible. They're not going to win. It won't happen. The players were defeated. There was no confidence. And boom, 0-40, 0-27. What's the difference? I don't know. But yeah, Nubani, back and forth, just like Busan, either team really could have won. LA Valiant started off on attack. They pushed all the way through in overtime, and they capped with 0 time left. Then Houston Outlaws went on their attack, and it was the same exact thing. They struggled, but eventually they got it to the very last point where they needed to just win one fight, and they would have forced overtime. LA Valiant, I know I said they weren't clutch earlier, but they did clutch up in this fight. But let's be honest, against Houston, who's probably a bottom 5, bottom 6 team. And I don't even know, why am I even going over this game so much? We moved on to Volskaya. It was a disaster. Both teams struggled. I remember there was this one team fight on Houston Outlaws attack when they were pushing the second point. There was like maybe 2 minutes left. Spree threw a grab out, completely whiffed it. Kareev threw a grab out, completely hit nobody. Like 12 ults were used. One person died and they just like stood there and did nothing. It was the most boring and stale fight. This was a bad match, dude. That Houston Outlaws and Florida Mayhem set gave me hope because it was competitive. Both teams looked like they were improving, but this one was a setback, a major one. I don't know if that's just the LA Valiant grabbing the Houston Outlaws and making them play a lot worse than they did in their last match. I have no idea. Volskaya ended up in a draw. We swapped over to the 4th and final map, Route 66. LA Valiant, they really struggled. I don't know what the hell they did with their team during the offseason. You got rid of Soon, arguably your best player during Season 1, at least during Stage 4. He was the best player, no doubt in my mind. And then you swapped off your shot caller and main support for all of Season 1, basically, who helped you succeed all the way to the semifinals, by the way. And they gave his job to a former main tank who didn't even play in Season 1. Really, he played like what, 5 games for Seoul Dynasty maybe. Now he's the main support because Custa's too smart. What? It didn't make sense. The Houston Outlaws, they first held the LA Valiant. LA Valiant honestly just does not know what they're doing. There's no ult tracking. There's no synergy. Everybody seems to be doing their own thing here and there, getting picked off one by one. It's awful. Anyways, I'm done talking about the actual game. Let's move on to the drama involved in this series because that's like the best part. Honestly, my favorite thing this week with Overwatch League was Sideshow and Houston Outlaws beefing. So this all started off when Sideshow said that the Houston Outlaws were probably going to lose to LA LA Valiant, and LA Valiant was going to get their first win because he thinks Houston Outlaws is dog shit, basically. The Houston Outlaws decided after their win today against the LA Valiant to post a little mini montage of them winning the series and calling out Sideshow. Let's go ahead and roll that real quick.
I think Valiant will get their first win against Houston. Yeah.
Couple of big kills here for the Outlaws with Fate out of it. No big shields here for the Valiant to hide behind, and they're at risk of getting picked off one after the other.
This one's just about over. It is only Kareem trying to get his own personal carry.
Walks off out, but you're getting caught in the corner, and that's not going to be good. Free's got so much energy now, he's just melting. And another EMP gets thrown in by Dante. Agility's already had the rally going, but he's going to die, and this is it. Overtime over. Houston Outlaws.
And then they tagged him in the tweet saying Sideshow Overwatch at Sideshow Gaming, and of course Sideshow was not very happy to see this, so he went on his stream and he blasted the Houston Outlaws, guys. This is epic. Let's roll it. I love you, Sideshow.
It's amazing that Houston think they can brag about that win against Valiant. It's actually amazing that the fucking Outlaws Twitter thinks that was a good win. The fucking Houston should be so disappointed about that win over Valiant. Houston should actually be thanking their gods that they won that game, and the fucking balls of that team to talk trash on me for thinking that Valiant were gonna win is unreal. Houston are a straight garbo team, and they can fucking quote this. If they make playoffs, it's a bloody joke. It's a bloody joke. Like, straight quote me right now, Outlaws social media staff, if you're watching this. It's unreal that you even won that match, and it's unreal that you think you can talk some shit against me for predicting Valiant to win that game.
Wow, like that's the definition of somebody calling someone out. Sideshow gives absolutely zero fucks. Like, he does not care. The guy's an analyst for the Overwatch League, but if you want to call him out as a team, you're gonna get blasted, and he took down the Houston Outlaws, pretty much disgracing them for beating a team that has looked like absolute crap the past week, and probably the worst match I've seen so far, and I'm sure Sideshow would agree on that as well. Anyways, boys, that's the crazy juice that involves Sideshow, the Houston Outlaws, and the LA Valiant. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk about some of the other games that happened over the past 2 days, because we definitely got some to cover. We'll do it briefly though. First, we had the Vancouver Titans yesterday taking down Paris Eternal 4-0. Absolute stomp. I don't know what happened to Paris Eternal, but they have fallen apart after their loss against the Atlanta Reign. They looked really good before that. They were competitive with every team they beat, but all of a sudden they're just not competitive anymore, so I'm a little worried for Paris Eternal. Hopefully they can bounce back when they face some easier teams though. Moving on to the next match, it was the New York Excelsior and San Francisco Shock. San Francisco Shock is literally the good version of Washington Justice. They have a shit schedule. They have to face the hardest teams out of almost any team besides Washington Justice, and because of that, I think they have looked weaker than they actually are. I believe San Francisco Shock is a top 10 team, maybe even top 7, but they have faced like every good team. Vancouver, New York, LA Gladiators. Like, they've really gone up against some of the toughest teams in the league so far, and every match they have played has definitely been close. They lost 4-0 to the Vancouver Titans. Well, guess what? That 4-0, it was extremely close. San Francisco Shock winning one more team fight in 3 of those maps would have won the set, and it was the same thing against New York Excelsior. Every map was extremely close, and if they would have maybe just won a couple more team fights here and there, they could have came out on top on this set. Moving on to the third set, yesterday we had the Dallas Field and the Shanghai Dragons. I was surprised that Dallas got the 4-0, just because, again, like the San Francisco Shock and New York Excelsior set, it was very close. Shanghai choked a lot of team fights that would have gave them map wins. Of course, no credit taken away from the Dallas Field. They clutched up when they needed to, and they secured back-to-back wins against a pretty decent Shanghai Dragons roster. And guess what, guys? Dallas Field is ranked 5 right now in the Overwatch League. They have a really good shot at making the Stage 1 playoffs. So big shout out to Dallas Field. I'm glad to see them buckle down and start performing. I do feel like a main reason they have gotten a lot better is because AKM is in there 24/7. AKM has been playing great. To be honest, I think AKM is the most improved player from Season 1 so far. The guy's playing like an animal on Zarya. Anyways, moving on to the matches from today. We already went over the first one. It was a joke. The next match was Seoul Dynasty Washington Justice. Meh. You know, it was an okay set. Seoul Dynasty finally got a win after looking disastrous in their last few matches. Their shot calling, it's hard to tell if it was improved because Washington isn't that great of a team. Moving on to the next match, we had Guangzhou Charge and LA Gladiators. And damn, the LA Gladiators turned up this week. They are playing like a completely different team. Guangzhou Charge by no means is an easy team to beat, and they did it I wouldn't say easily, but they looked really good against the Guangzhou Charge, just like the 4-0 against the Atlanta Reign. It's really good to see the LA Gladiators kind of come to form here. Roar's playing great. He doesn't look like an AFK main tank anymore, so good for him. Void's doing great. Decay finally popping off. He was new, I guess, in his first couple weeks. He had to shake that off. They're just looking good overall, so shout out to LA Gladiators. Guangzhou Charge, none taken away from them. LA's just looking amazing. Similar situation to them beating the Atlanta Reign. Atlanta didn't look that bad. Yeah, they made some mistakes here and they didn't look as good as they did in other matches, but it was just credit to the LA Gladiators. Then moving on to the last match yesterday, we did have the Toronto Defiant and Hangzhou Spark. Toronto Defiant, I've been trying to tell you guys, they're good. Hangzhou Spark, they might not be the best team. I do feel like they're middle of the pack, maybe rank like 10 to 13, so they're still a competitor, but Toronto Defiant, I think they're top 6, top 7 for sure. They've been popping off, and guys, if Envy is not on your fantasy league team, you need to get him. Trade whatever you can to get him. He has been carrying my team every single week in fantasy. He is so damn good at getting points. He's an animal. Toronto Defiant, they look great. Oh, by the way, they have Nako now, and I told you guys, once they got Nako back, they were going to be insane. They've had him for a couple games. They rolled over Boston. They rolled over Hangzhou. I don't know what to say about Toronto Defiant. They're definitely a competitor going into the Stage 1 playoffs. I mean, if you guys didn't know, Toronto Defiant's ranked number 3 in the Overwatch League. I tried to tell you. I'm just saying, guys. I tried to tell you. Nobody wanted to believe the boy. It is what it is. But hey, Toronto Defiant popping off. Good for them. We'll see them in the Stage 1 playoffs. Let's move on now. And let's do my predictions for tomorrow. We'll go through them real quick. San Francisco Shock will beat Paris Eternal 3-1. London Spitfire will beat Shanghai Dragons 3-1. Boston Uprising will beat Florida Mayhem 3-1. Vancouver Titans will destroy the Chengdu Hunters 4-0. Easy predictions, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great night. I'm out of here. Peace.